All right, the coupling base here. Okay, use this time I'm going to start on the bottom. I'm going to build it from the bottom up. So this is English units. Okay, file, new, English, standard inch part. Okay, start sketch, and I'm going to use the XZ plane. I'm going to start with a slot, all right, a center point slot, okay? And I'm going to start from the origin point, so everything's centered in the with the origin, and that'll be helpful in putting it together. So, so I go down here under rectangle. I find there's different slots. There's center to center overall, and there's center point. Okay, where you start with the center point. I'll use that one. I'll pick my origin point and bring it out, and I'll have a slot shape. Okay, so we have the distance from center to center is 2.5. So I can just put a dimension from arc to arc, or I can just grab that center line, put it in 2.5. We have a radius of 1. So I'll just put a radius on here, 1. Okay, come here, kitty. I picked a horrible time to want to hang out. Okay. Now, hear it. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay. So now we have another slot shape on the inside with a radius of 0.5. Okay, so that's going to give us what, a half inch thickness. I could try. I'm going to try the. This didn't work in class. I don't know why. I'm going to try an offset. Where's my offset at? Here we go. Offset. Grab the slot. Type in 0.5 and hit enter. And yeah, it worked this time. In class, for some reason, it wasn't working. You can do that, or you can just draw another slot. You know, like I had to in class when it wasn't working. I just did another slot and I made sure I got to that endpoint, pulled it out. I would have had the same distance, 2.5. That's good. Cancel, and a radius of 0.5. Okay, so now I've got this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, to draw this, to break this up, I'm going to use a rectangle with a center point, okay? 2-point rectangle, we start with the center. And you start with the center and you just pull it out. Okay, I'm just gonna put that rectangle there like so. And we have a distance of 1.25. So put a distance on here from here to here is 1.25. 1.25. Okay, now I'm going to take my center point and line it up with my center of my origin, which is right here. And I'm going to do it normally. Okay, it depends. You would think a vertical constraint is what I want, and I hit the vertical constraint. And if you can see, watch when I mouse over there, the little red line that appears. If you can see that, it's going horizontal. That's because we're not on the XY plane. So sometimes you got to check that, and you want vertical, so you got to actually pick the horizontal to get vertical from your perspective. See, now I click on that, and it's going up and down vertical. Okay, so I'll pick on that point and the origin point, and it lines it up. So now this is nice and center. I got my 1.25 shape there. I'm going to do some trimming. I'm going to get rid of this, and this, and this. And see how this is all broke up? It's because of those construction lines. Make sure you get all these out of here. Don't worry about the construction lines. They won't amount to much. Okay, and then get rid of that, and that, and that, that. All right, so then we have that shape. All right, everything's all good. And we can finish the sketch and extrude it straight up. half an inch. So we'll do an extrusion 0.5. Okay. Now I'm going to put this shape on there. I'm just going to work from the back and put a sketch plane right here. Okay, and I'm going to just draw this kind of shape, this kind of arc, or if the arc's frustrating to you, you can do this. You put a circle in there and put a couple lines and come down here, up, down, line here, and just kind of connect that or whatever. Put the, I guess it'll be a vertical constraint on that, and a horizontal constraint. On a different plane now, horizontal constraint. Okay. All right. Again, it is. We want to line this up. Want center point of that lined up with that, right? So this time we can use the vertical constraint because we're on a different plane. Hit that. And then the origin point is our origin. We started with the origin. If you didn't start with the origin point in the center slot, then you got to start doing math and figure out, that stuff. All right, so we have what? A radius of 0.625. Okay, 0.625. 0.62. Wait a second. That'll give me a diameter because I still have a circle. We don't want that, so let me trim this out. Trim that out because the diameter, if I had to put in a diameter, it'd be 1.25, right? Okay, but I'm going to trim that out and use the radius 0.625. And then we're 1 inch, center is 1 inch from the very bottom. So from here to the very bottom is 1 inch. Okay, and this is fine because it's inside the object. We can just leave that the way it is. Now we're going to put a, we don't have to put the distance here because we have the radius. That determines everything. And then we've got the center hole, which is ½ inch, and it's concentric with the arc. So we'll put a hole on the center point, diameter 0.5. Let's make sure it's concentric. We're good. And at this point, I'm just going to finish the sketch. Do an extrusion, pick that part of it. Now I'm going to say 2, and then I'm going to pick this surface right here. It's on join, and we're good, and there it is. Okay, and that's called the coupling base. Save as coupling base.